Om Satyam Param Dhimai. Om Satyam Param Dhimai. Om Satyam Param Dhimai. Om Satyam Param Dhimai. Om Satyam Param Dhimai.
He does not know Shakuntala. And he does this for two reasons. One is that he still sees that Shakuntala has grown up in an ashram. Her father and her guru are both the Rishi Karna. And she has done a lot of practices. But still she is not free of self-love. She is not free of aham bhav. એટલે શકુંતલાએ ખૂબ સાધના ખૂબ કરેલી છે પણ અહમ ભાવ અંદર ઓગળ્યો નથી. Now self-love is something that we always have. We all have different pictures of ourselves. Right? So, and when that picture is hurt, when somebody throws a stone at that picture, our self-love gets hurt. Supposing I have a picture of myself as a good father. So this is a picture I have of myself. Now somebody tells me that your son was saying that he's not happy with you. So that hits the picture I have of myself and I feel hurt. But I don't realize that this is a picture I have created and fallen in love with. આપણે બધાય ચિત્ર બનાવતા હોય છે. એટલે એક ચિત્ર હોય કે હું સારો પિતા છું. એ ચિત્રના પ્રેમમાં હું પડી જાઉં. પછી એમ ખબર પડે કે મારો દીકરો કંઈક બોલતો હતો કે મને પિતા સાથે નથી ફાવતું. તો એ ચિત્ર મારું તૂટે એટલે મને દુઃખ થાય. મને ખ્યાલ નથી કે આ મારો અહમ ભાવને દુઃખ થાય છે. So the ego gets hurt, the aham bhav, the self-love. Self-love is the major part of the ego. It is not the full ego. Now this self-love within us has to be seen. We have to observe it. So, what does it consist of? What does it consist of? Let's try to see. It resents. It resents. It resents criticism. So there is something within us कि कोई आपको criticism करे, कोई आपको खराब बोले, निंदा करे, somebody hurts us, then what is that in us which resents? This is aham bhav, self-love. And it is a lifetime of practice to be free of it. It is not something we won't even know that it is there. Right? So it resents injury. It can only hear itself. If so 4 or 5 people are talking, then within us there is something which is getting ready to say what we have to say. We are not listening to what others are saying, but we want to have our say. Now this is a kind of violence which we don't realize. Actually the word argument comes from the word argentum. Polishing the silver. Argentum means silver. Polishing the silver. But argument is no longer polishing the silver. Argument is now fighting with each other. In the old days in Japan, in the Zen monasteries, they used to have a system that the monks they were traveling monks, parivrajak. And the rule was that they could not stay at one place for more than one day. Even in India we had this system कि परिव्राजक को एक दिवस की वधारे क्याय रही न सके. So these Zen monks would go from monastery to monastery, and the rule was that they had to enter into a debate with the head of the monastery. And if they lose, then they can't stay there, they have to go somewhere else, to another monastery. जो ये हारी जाए debate नहीं अंदर तो ये आगे बीच monastery, they have to go to another monastery. So there was this one Zen monastery where two brothers were looking, that they were the abbots of the monastery, two brothers. The elder brother was very intelligent, is of great spiritual height, very understanding, he knew the scriptures, and he spent his time in introspection, going within himself, the elder brother. The younger brother, he didn't know anything, he was more or less just an ordinary, just stupid person. And the thing about him is that he had one eye, he didn't have two eyes. Then one day one monk came to the monastery, and the elder brother was very immersed in something which he was studying. So he told his younger brother that you just debate with him. He thought that his younger brother will lose and this monk will spend the night at the monastery. After some time, that monk who had come there, he came and he bowed down to the elder brother and he said, I'm going, I had a debate with your younger brother and I've lost. And so I'm going, I have to now go, even though it's night, I have to go to look for another monastery which will be very far away, so I can't stay here. So the elder brother thought that my younger brother lost. How did he lose? So he said, will you please tell me what happened? So he said, when I met him, I put up one finger, saying there is only one Buddha. So he put up two fingers, saying, but there is Buddha, but there is also Buddha's teaching. So then I put up three fingers, saying that there is Buddha, there is Buddha's teaching, and there is the Sangha, the brotherhood of the bhikshus. There are three. So then he put up his fist like this, and he said that they all come from the same source. So I have lost the debate. I am going to another monastery. Then his brother came running in, the younger brother, and he was very upset, the younger brother. So the elder brother, what happened? Where is that fellow? I want to beat him up. Saying, why? What happened? So he said, when he has no manners, that fellow. So he says, when I met him, the first thing he put up one finger, telling me that you have one eye. So then I tried to be very, cordial and of good manners. So I said, maybe I have one eye, but I'm very happy that you have two eyes. So I put up two fingers. So then he insulted me more. He said, between the two of us, only three eyes. So then I got angry and I showed him my fist. I'm going to punch you one in the face. And he ran away. So this is what happens in arguments. Arguments can never unravel the truth. Arguments can never unravel. And this story is very symbolic in the sense that if you win an argument, you can stay for one night. All that an argument can do is get you to stay for one night. Winning any argument, winning any debate. The truth is known through something else. There has to be a heart which is loving to know the truth, to absorb the truth. It cannot be known through argument. Argument, whenever we want to have our way, we want to say our thing, whenever we want what we think is right to be, there is always some kind of violence behind it. And this is very important. So, that is a part of our self-love. Okay, I must have my way. What I say should be the last. Okay. Third thing about self-love, it takes things personally. It takes everything personally. If somebody is cracking a joke, it thinks it is cracking about. If somebody is laughing, it thinks it is laughing about me. So it takes things personally, everything. And it's very difficult to be free of the personal. Very difficult to be free of the personal. If I fall ill, the first thing I'll say, why did it happen to me? Right? There are so many other people who could have felt it. Right? He doesn't bother about how what he eats, there is no discipline in his life. Why didn't he fall ill? But I fell ill. So we take everything personally. And આ personally માંથી મુક્ત થવું બહુ મોટી સાધના. There is nothing in life which is personal. There is nothing in life which is personal. Everything that is personal starts with a name. And if you take that name out, there is nothing personal. But still we take everything personally. He says that she was talking about you, we take it personally. What did she say about me? And how can she say this about me? This is self-love. Now we can practice not feeling resentment. Anugamo. We can practice. Not feeling resentment, we can practice it. But many of us just wear a kind of face, a mask outside. A mask of modesty. Inside but nothing has happened to me, and inside we are feeling everything. Now this mask of modesty is not going to work, because in sadhana we don't have to answer to anyone, we only answer to ourselves, right? So there is no answering to anyone. The Guru is not bothered. The Guru will show the way. We have to walk on the path, right? So just by showing an outside exterior that I am modest and nothing is happening to me will not work. Am I free of dislike? Am I free of anugamo? It loves to be admired, the self-love. The inner self-love, it loves other people. So it loves to be admired. The minute when somebody is praising us, admiring us, immediately look inside and see what is expanding inside. What is that thing? Because we've got to catch that person inside. It can disguise itself. It can take on, that it can show that it is a very spiritual person, whilst there is nothing inside. Remember, morality is not spirituality. Right? Spirituality is much above morality. That does not give us the permission to go and kill someone, but it is much above. It is an inner feeling of restlessness. Under kank, restless, come to all the time. It is not at peace. It is not at relaxed inside. It is always restless inside. That is our self-love. So Dushyant saw this self-love in Shakuntala, and he wanted to create a situation where she is free of self-love. And the best way is to insult a person, to hit upon the self-love. So he hits upon her self-love, right? And tells her that she is a woman of the street. I don't know you. You are a fallen sannyasi. You are a fallen sannyasi. Padigeli sannyasi. He hits upon her self-love. I don't know who you are. Please leave. Now, the other thing he saw in her was that there was a lot of wisdom in her which was hidden. Now, because of this anger, this wisdom will come out. Can anger be used positively? Can anger be used positively? Can we make a positive use of anger? Positive use of anger. to transform the energy. Means give it a different channel, the energy of which is going into anger. Anger is not an energy, but some precious energy is going into a manifestation which we call anger. Can we channelize it into another thing? We have one good South African example. Good South Africa. When the T20 World Cup was in South Africa. Which example? The cricket match. Huh?
Six sixes.
Six sixes, yes. Yuvraj Singh hit six sixes. But the over before that he had a fight with Flintoff. He had an argument with Flintoff. He was very angry, and the next over all that energy got channelized into six sixes. Right? A beautiful example. Of course, he did not know. He did not do it consciously. But it is a good example of anger going in one direction and giving it another direction. Similar thing, something here Dushyant is doing. He's making her angry, and if that anger goes to her wisdom, then that hidden wisdom will come out. It will sprout out like a spring. So he wants that wisdom to come out. And now she starts saying, so Shakuntala was stunned, losing her balance, and was on the verge of becoming unconscious. Even though her eyes were red, her lips quivered, and anger burned within her, she stood as if nothing had happened. She used the power of her austerities to control herself. Looking at the king with narrow, sarcastic eyes, she said, "O king, your heart and soul both know the truth, but still you act ignorant." Right? એટલે એક ગુસ્સામાં તો હતી, પણ એને પોતાનો ગુસ્સો કંટ્રોલ કર્યો. અને then she told the king કે you are acting ignorant. તું જાણે છે છતાંય અજાણ રહે છે. Right? Now she says, nothing is hidden from the inner spirit. Nothing. અંદરના આત્મામાંથી કંઈ છુપાયેલું નથી. એનાથી કંઈ છુપાયેલું નથી. That spirit is the knower and seer of all. He is the oldest of all sages. એ અંદરનો જે આત્મા છે એ બધું જાણે છે અને બધું જોઈ શકે છે. અને સૌથી જૂનો ગુરુ છે. ગુરુનો ગુરુ છે, સૌથી જૂનો. He is the oldest of all sages, the oldest guru. You do not know him, but you are lying in his presence. She does not know. Shakuntala does not know that Dushyant is acting. She is saying you do not know him. She is saying you have te tara atma ne odakyo nati. You have not seen your own inner spirit. You have not experienced your own inner spirit. You do not know him, but he knows everything. Ye badhu jane છે. You are lying in his presence. In his presence, in a sanidhyama, you are lying. I remember we used to do one exercise called the healing exercise. And in that exercise, the music would go on for rhythmic breathing. And we would sit against the wall with our legs up like this. And we would look at where the ceiling touches the wall like this. And there we would visualize a black flame, as if the flame is touching here and we are looking at it against a white background, the wall. And then the music would go, and we have to, when we breathe in, we would say, okay, whoever has harmed me, whoever I have harmed, I ask for forgiveness. And then when we breathe out, we will say, whoever has harmed me, I forgive them. Right? And then we would allow pictures to come right from childhood, all the pictures where somebody has harmed us or we have harmed them, and we would set those pictures right. And that we would do 5 minutes every day over a long period of many years. We did these exercises. And this exercise heals the psychic system. Because there are so many wounds where people have harmed us, and there are so many knots where we have harmed other people. So all that gets healed in this simple exercise. We used to call it the healing exercise. So she is saying that you cannot lie to khotu na boli sake, કારણ કે અંદરના આત્માને ખબર છે. You cannot lie in front of the inner spirit. Now she says, people remain content that they can lie and no one knows. લોકોને એમ છે, people think that they can lie and no one knows. લોકોને એમ છે કે હું ખોટું બોલું, કોઈને ખબર નથી. No one knows. Why do we lie? Why do we lie? And what is a lie? What is a lie? What is a lie? Recently I had a camp with youngsters. Every year I have one in Christmas time with youngsters. And this year the topic was how to lie. How to deceive someone, how to lie. That was the topic. And we all had different ways of how to lie, how to see that another person is lying, how to trap another person when he is lying, and all that. And we were talking of the different ways of lying. So, what is lying? What is lying? In the spiritual sense, what is lying? What do we mean by lying in the spiritual sense? In the spiritual sense, not in the morality sense. Morality has a definition of lying, spirituality has a definition of lying. What is a lie? Jhut bolwo એટલે શું?
Lie the truth.
What do we mean by lying? To show to someone what you are not. To show to someone what you are not. I'm not talking about lies in the sense of speaking only the truth. Supposing I have a small accident on the road, and I come back from that accident and he asks me, can you describe what happened? Tell me what happened. Then what happens? How do I tell it to him? When I'm telling it to him, I will add something here, I will subtract something here, થોડું અહીંયા add કરી દઈશ, થોડું અહીંયા કાપી નાખીશ, I'll add something, and in the end, after I've told him the whole story, the picture he gets that I am a very brave person. I am a very brave person. So I am showing something which I am not. Showing something which I am not. So this is lying in the spiritual sense. This is lying in the spiritual sense. Right? Supposing he is frightened to go somewhere because it is raining, and I say, what is the point in being frightened? And I say, it's not raining, you just go. I want to bring out the courage in him. So am I lying? I'm not lying. In the spiritual sense, it is not a lie. So morality has one definition of lying, and spirituality has one definition. The guru lies all the time. He never tells the truth. He never tells the truth. See, the guru, he's only interested in killing the disciple's ego. And as long as the disciple argues, he knows that the self-love is still there. And the guru will say all kinds of nonsense. He will say, It's night just now. You'll say to her, look at the sun, it's shining so brightly. And it's night, the sun is set. Now the disciple knows that this is nonsense. But if the disciple says, no sir, it's night time, the sun has set, that won't work. He has to say, yes. He has to say, yes. And the Guru will know that the disciple is hungry. And he'll say, I know you're not hungry, so don't worry, we'll eat in the evening. The disciple may be very hungry inside. But he can't complain, I am hungry. He say, yes, I am not hungry. And slowly, over a long period of time, the Guru will keep on throwing things like this at the disciple. And one day there will be nothing left in the disciple which can argue. It's gone completely. And he is waiting for that day. And from the minute he sees that now the disciple is free of argument, then he won't lie. But till then he'll keep on lying. So lying, what we call as lying, is totally different. In spirituality, there's only one lie, that you show what you are not. You show what you are not. So she's telling him that you are lying. You're not showing what you are. Now she says something. People remain content that they can lie and no one knows. Again we come back to the same question, why do we lie? Why do we lie? Supposing I say, will you give me a lift to my home? Okay, somebody is waiting for me at home, I don't have any time. So actually nobody is waiting at home, right? Why do we lie? Why do we lie? Why do we lie? To escape from suffering. To escape from suffering. And sometimes that suffering is very necessary to bring out something new within us. Many things are hidden in this suffering. Now some wisdom will come out of Shakuntala. But whenever we lie, we are always escaping from most likely necessary suffering. જે પીડાની આપણને જરૂર છે, એ પીડાથી દૂર ભાગવા માટે આપણે ખોટું બોલીએ છીએ. Okay. Now she's saying that people can lie because they think no one knows. But I am the daughter of a pious rishi. Rishini Dikri Chu. I am the daughter of a pious rishi. And tell you that the gods, in the form of the sun, Surya, the moon, Chandra, wind, Vayu, fire, Agni, ether, Akash, earth, Prithvi, water, as in Apas, heart, Hriday, Yam, the god of death, and Dharma, the god of law, they all have knowledge of the acts of man. What does this mean? Okay, she's saying that all these are listening and they know that you are lying. All of them are listening. What does she mean over here? What does it mean? One thing we said, lying is to escape from suffering. Now she's saying something much deeper also. Much deeper. Much deeper. What does it mean? What are these? What is she said suddenly? And it doesn't end at Dharma, sorry. The days, the nights, both the twilights and Dharma. All these have knowledge of the acts of man. એટલે હરેક જે કર્મ આપણે કરીએ છીએ, હરેક કૃત્ય જે કરીએ છીએ, every action that we do, so many people are noting it down. What does she mean by that? We'll go into it again. Sun, moon, wind, fire, ether, earth, water, heart, yama, the nights, the days, both the twilights, Vande, Sandhya and Dharma. Now she's speaking real wisdom, something very, very deep she's saying. What is she saying? What is she saying?
which is outside of you is recording what you're doing wrong, and that what is inside of you is also knowing that what you're doing wrong.
But what do these form? All these together, they are forming something inside, right? And when I say a lie, something is happening in that formation. You get what I'm trying to say? It's as if you have some structure inside. But structure on what? On what? What is structured in these? What is structured in this? What is structured in this? The jeev, the soul. The jeev, the soul. What is the soul? The soul is made up of all these things. The soul is made up of all these things. Let us put this on the side for a minute. And let us do some imagination. Imagination करिए. Right? Supposing there are three wires. Three wires. Now, one wire is green, one wire is red, one wire is black. Right? Now, through the green wire, if electricity passes, it is positive. Through the red wire, if electricity passes, it is negative. And through the black wire, it is neutral, we won't take that. Only we just now take the two wires, otherwise it will become a little complicated. Now, we have these wires within us. The electricity comes to meters. The electricity comes to meters. Right? Now, if it comes through the green wire, which is negative or positive, then it will bring happiness. If it comes through the red wire, it will bring pain, suffering. Pain and suffering. Right? Now, we collect these wires. And electricity is life every moment coming to meters. Now I meet him on the road, and I call him all kinds of names, I insult him, and I may tell him so many things that you have taken my money, you have not returned it, you have done this, you have done that, all that. So in that telling of him, which wires am I gathering?
Red.
The negative wire. So say red negative wire. Okay, the red wire. Now, life will come to meet me as electricity in the form of an event. But that event can only bring pain and suffering because I don't have any green wires in my safe deposit vault. It's a very simple explanation of karma. Very, very simple explanation. Okay, every act I do is I gather wires. Either green or red. If the black wire comes, then if electricity comes from the black wire, then I wake up to life. I wake up from the green wire. Then I'm free of the green, I'm free of the red. But every action I do, if it is negative, then I am collecting more negative wires. And those negative wires, now life wants to make me happy, but can it make me happy? I have nothing to receive that happiness. All I have is to receive is pain, because I have only red wires. See. Now, let's go back to this. What she's saying, that when we lie, she's talking of a very deep law over here. That when we lie, so many people know, the sun, the moon, etc. And I'm giving you a hint. The soul is made of all this. The soul is made of all. These are all the substances which go to make the jeev, the soul. Sun, moon, 5 elements, all that. The 2 twilights, the 2 sandhyas, right? The day, the night. Okay. Now what is she saying over here? These are, don't take them as sun as this or the moon as that. Take them as different energies. Take them as different energies. Now all those energies are wound up to make the soul, the jiva of man. Now, from my mind I lie to you. But somewhere something is happening and it is being recorded in the soul. In one of these energies, something is happening. Or in all these energies together, because of that lying, some knot is being formed, something is being formed. And what will happen? What will happen? Sometimes also, is it clear? See, astronaut chip. One astronaut, if he wants to go into space, what does he need? Space suit. He needs if he wants to walk on the moon, what does he need? He needs a space suit, right? Similarly, this Jeev comes from the Atma, he comes from the sun. It is a ray of light from the Atma, is called Jeev. But he is not allowed to come unless he wears a space suit. And that space suit is made up of all these things. Clear? Right? That space suit. So the body of the Jeev is made up of all this. These are the energies surrounding the Jeev. Right? Now, every moment those energies are changing. Those energies are changing. Now the minute the ego lies, who suffers? The Jeev suffers. Why does he suffer? You get it? Lying is done by the ego, but the ego does not pay cash. The cash is paid by the soul. Cash is paid by the soul. Again the ego goes and does some other debit balance somewhere else. Again the cash is paid by the soul. એટલે આપણે કહીએ કે જીવ બળે છે, ઈગો નથી બળતો. આપણે કે જીવ બળે છે. Because એ રોકડા ચૂકવે છે દર વખતે. ભૂલ ઈગો કરે છે. ભૂલ અહમ કરે છે. રોકડા જીવ ચૂકવે છે. But now coming, these are the energies. What is happening in these energies? They are going into a lower grade of consciousness. એટલે જીવ વધારે બંધનમાં આવી ગયો. Ego feels, by lying I avoided so much of suffering. By lying I avoided so much of suffering. આટલું દુઃખ મારા જીવનમાં આવ્યું. એક નાનું મેં જૂઠ બોલી દીધું, આટલું દુઃખ નીકળી ગયું. શાંતિ થઈ ગઈ ઈગોને. પણ અંદર જીવ તડફડે છે કારણ કે એને એ દુઃખની જરૂર હતી. એ દુઃખના તપમાંથી તો એ મુક્ત થવાનો હતો. You get it? From the tap created, from the austerity created from that pain which I avoided by lying, the Jeev was going to get free. એને freedom મળવાનું હતું. હવે એ વધારે બંધનમાં ફસાયો. See, before we are born, janam pehla, when the soul takes on a new body, ek sankalp kare che, it makes one resolution, it decides something. What does it say? In this life I will be free. હું શેની માટે શરીર ધારણ કરું છું? કે મારા મુક્તિ માટે હું શરીર ધારણ કરું છું. I come into the body to be free. Then after some time ego is born and the ego tells the soul, shut up. The ego tells the soul, Jeev ne ke shut up. Mane mukti nathi joti. I don't want freedom. I want happiness. I want peace. I don't want freedom. And then our whole life we are looking for peace and happiness. See, even if we go to a guru, what are we going for? No one goes for freedom. Very rarely somebody goes for freedom. Otherwise they go કે ભાઈ મારી દીકરીના લગ્ન નથી થતા, આનું આમ થાય છે, આનું બિઝનેસમાં આમ છે, આમ છે, અને કંઈક રસ્તો બતાવી દે. Nobody goes કે મને મુક્તિ આપો for freedom. The Guru is compassionate. If he can see, he will say, okay, you do this, you will be free of the loss, you do this. Lagan they just say, okay. But that does not, that is not the real, what you call, that is not his real duty. His aim is something else in life. Anyway, so these energies are surrounding the soul. It is these energies, and these energies, a blemish is created in those energies, and what is going to happen? They control everything. All energy is controlled by the sun. The mind is controlled by the moon, the day, the night. These are the energies which control everything within our life, and those energies have become more. They have bounded the jeev more. So the jeev will say, I want freedom. So those energies will now invite more pain in our life. So that one small lie freed us from so much of pain, but when the cycle goes round, it is going to invite more pain. That is why she is saying, it is these energies which are surrounding the jeev. By this one lie, you are, all of them know, they are recording everything. And when the time comes, the cycle will go round. All of them have knowledge of the acts of man. But Dushyant was only acting. Here Shakuntala has given us unraveled the hidden laws of lying. She explains that lying is not the uttering of an untruth, but projecting an image which in reality we are not. She mentioned the deeper energies which get affected and tainted by lying, and how these energies are aware of every act we perform. These energies are the creators of our destiny, and how by lying we invite pain because these energies lose their purity. એટલે આપણું આખું નસીબ જે છે એ આ શક્તિઓ ઉપર છે, જે જીવનું સ્પેસ સૂટ છે, which is the space suit of the jeev, right? They create our destiny. But Dushyant is much beyond lying. He has gone much beyond lying. He is not lying. He is using lying as a tool for Shakuntala's growth. Shakuntalaની maturity માટે એ ખાલી lying નો ઉપયોગ કરે છે. Now the wisdom continues from Shakuntala's lips. She continues, O noble king, it is me, your wife, standing in your presence. Worthy I am of being worshipped, but instead you rain insult on me as if I am of fallen caste and belong with the woman in the street. કે હું તારી પત્ની છું, મારી પૂજા થવી જોઈએ, but you are treating me like a woman of the street. Treating me like a woman of the street. If you keep ignoring me, your head will explode into 1,000 pieces. તારું માથું 1000 કટકામાં ફાટી જશે. Your head will explode. So now she's talking about her power of austerity, જે સાધના કરી છે. All the power she has gained by sadhana. And this is the ego which Dushyant wants to break. The pious ego, which grows by sadhana. In the Mahabharata, this ego is called as Abhimanyu. When we start our sadhana, we need another ego. The ego of life does not work. We need a new ego, and this ego then plans our sadhana for us. It says, okay, I will use this technique of sadhana, I will use this technique of breathing, I will get up at this time, I will do this. This is a new ego we need when we move on the path of sadhana, right? And this ego, it helps us to move. And at one time, this ego is not needed, so it has to die. It has to die. So, this ego dies young. That is why it is called as Abhimanyu, Abhiman. It is a new ego, Abhiman. And what does Abhimanyu do? What does Abhimanyu do? You see, Abhimanyu was the son of the moon. He was the son of the moon. And the moon was very Barcha. His name was Barcha. And the moon was very attached to his son. Now, all the gods, they decided, each of us will take form to fight this Mahabharata war. So all the gods took the form as the different warriors in the Pandav side to fight the Mahabharata war. And when the gods came to the moon and they said, you have to send someone from your family, and he says, I cannot send my son. I love my son so much. I can't send my son. So then he says, no, you have to send someone. So then he says, okay, I'll send my son, but when he is 16, he will come back to me. When he is 16, he will come back to me. So, Abhimanyu is that Abhiman which we create on our sadhana, and we need that Abhiman. We must be proud of what we are doing. There must be an inner pride of the path I am following. There must be an inner pride of the scriptures I am using in my sadhana. Right? And that is necessary up to a certain time. And then that ego is not needed. But in that one day which Abhimanyu fought the war, how many yodhas did he kill? He killed 1/4 of all the top warriors of the Kaurav army. एक જ દિવસમાં ચોથા ભાગના યોદ્ધા એને મારી. 1/4 of all the warriors he killed in one day. So till we have reached that stage, we need a separate ego which decides our sadhana, and then that ego has to die. Right? So that ego has not yet died in Shakuntala, and she is saying your head will burst into 1,000 pieces. But nothing can happen to Dushyant. He is much above all this. Nothing will happen. His head is not going to burst into 1,000 pieces. The great rishis of yonder knew that the husband enters the wife as a sex cell, and through her his form returns as a son. The role played by the wife is known as Jaya, and the son that is born is called Putra. Putra, what is the meaning of the word Putra? What does she mean? These are very, very deep statements. What does she mean? Putra, it is. Tra means trayate, to transcend, to free from, to make free from. Pu is suffering, purgatory. Purgatory. Pu is a narak. Pu narak. Puttana. Puttana. Right? So she is the one who was burning in that purgatory, and because Krishna kills her by sucking her nipple, she is free from that suffering of that purgatory. Right? Puttana. So we have here Putra. What does Putra mean? Putra. So a father has a son, the Putra. The wife, the husband enters the wife as a sex cell and is reborn in form, not reborn in essence, reborn in form as a Putra. What does this mean? What does this mean? Reborn in form. What does it mean? See. What is happening in the sex act? What is happening in the sex act? Is it birth or death? Is it birth or death? Birth. But for birth, what is necessary? Death. So where is the death? Where is the energy of death? In that sex act, where is the energy of death? Don't go according to science, because science can't find this. It's much beyond science. Where is the energy of death in the sex act? When a male releases his sperm, he releases millions of sperm. Only one reaches the female ovum. What happens to the rest? They die. They die. They are at the point of that conception. There is a massive creation of the energy of death. Can you understand what I'm trying to say? Why? If only one was needed, why did nature put these millions over there? What was the reason? There had to be some reason, no? What was the reason? There's so many jarurati to put these millions of sperm cells when only one sperm is needed to do the job. Why did she put so many over there? What is the reason? Huh?
It's the survival of the fittest one that can make it.
Yeah.
All of that
Right.
is the one that has the potential, the highest.
Okay, that is how science sees it. See, there cannot be birth without death. These are two of the most powerful energies. Tomorrow we are going to talk about the energy of death. There cannot be birth without death. Both these energies move together. And you are getting something from another dimension of time and space, and it is entering into some other dimension. From some invisible dimension, something is coming to be formed in this dimension of time and space. And for that, a very high potential explosion is needed. And that is why so many sperms, they die. They create that explosion which allows one sperm to be fertilized. Something from some other dimension breaks into this dimension. It breaks time and space and comes in. That is why it is needed. So now she's saying that the son which is born, he has the form of the father. And because he has the form of the father, he frees the father from the suffering of purgatory. He frees the father, putra. Putrayate iti putra. So that son, what is form? Where does form come from? What do we mean by form? What do we mean by form? See, in the formation of a human being, that child in the mother's womb, three things come together: life, matter, form. Life, matter, form. Life comes from the sun. એટલે આત્મા છે એ સૂર્યના પ્રાણ ઉપર સવાર થઈ અને when the child cries, the atma comes in. It comes in on the prana of the sun. The spirit comes in. It comes riding on the prana. We say on the 7 adityas, it comes riding and it enters into the child. It breaks through the Mooladhara and Swadhisthana. It creates a spark and the child cries loudly. Right? So that is the atma. So the life comes riding on the sun. Life comes from the sun. Where does form come? Can you understand what is form? What is form? The magnetism, the form. Today we have a form. Our legs are down. The legs are not up in the air. Right? Okay? So the face is here. You can't have a face over here. So this form, you want to make a house, you will make a form first. That house has a form. And the matter comes from the earth. When you build the house, then the bricks and everything are the matter. But before that there was the form. The form. Where is the form? Roop. We left that sutra of Patanjali. Rupa Anugama. Where does Roop come from? Where does it come from? The magnetism which keeps this form together. Where does it come from? The blueprint. Where does it come from? Huh? From the planets. Mainly from Guru. 80% from Guru and 20% from the other planets. 20% from the other planets. And it is these which make the form.
The DNA as well, because we look either like the mother or the father, so the DNA also plays a role.
That is the set of matter which that essence borrows from the mother and father. But that essence has a form before borrowing it from the mother and father. I'm talking about that form. It comes with a bank balance. So much of material from Mars, so much of material from Jupiter, so much of this, so much of that. It comes with a bank balance, that form. And it is surrounding it is the substance surrounding the soul. It is the spacesuit of the soul. Now am I a little clear on this? So she is saying that putra, the word putra, the putra is nothing but repetition of the form. What is she saying? What is she saying over here? How does the son free the father from suffering? How does the son free the father from suffering? Because the form repeats. And because the father and the son have a very similar form, one day the father is going to die. Right? The life will go somewhere. But the form is still there in the form of the son. The life is not there. The form is still there in the form of the son. And wherever that father is, the planets are relating. So, if there is some unfulfilled that desire of the father, maybe I had a desire to drink orange juice, and that remained unfulfilled, then when my son drinks orange juice, I'm giving a very simple example, when my son drinks orange juice, because the form is just a repetition, there will be some connection, wherever in whatever form I am. Now, am I a little clear on this? Can you understand how astrology works? How the astral form, and in that is why he is called Putra, because he is freeing his father from this suffering. At the time he drinks that orange juice, he is freeing his father from this suffering. The repetition of form in the sun. Am I clear, or is it still very hazy? So she says that we call the wife Patni, but when she gives birth to a child, she is not called Patni, she is called as Jaya, Janma Ape, the one which gives birth. Why is she called Jaya? Where does this energy to give birth come from? Where does it come from? So it comes from one of the loks called Jana, Tapa, Satyam. So she's saying because that energy comes from there, it allows her to give birth, she is called as Jaya. Here Shakuntala is describing a very deep science where the form of the husband reappears as the son. The word she uses is Jaya, from the Sanskrit root Jan, meaning to give birth. Therefore, when a woman marries, she is called Patni, but when she is pregnant, she is known as Jaya. Pu stands for purgatory or suffering, and Tra to transcend. She is revealing that the father transcends suffering by the birth of a son. By giving birth to a son, the father transcends suffering. Now, why the name son? Now the wisdom is coming out of her. She adds, the Patni is the one who is clever in running the household and willing to give birth to children. Her life force is always centered on her husband. Patni comes from the root pa, to nourish, poshan karu, pa, to nourish, poshan karu. From there, the word Patni. So when she marries, Her attention is centered on her husband. She wants to nourish her husband. Poshana puche. She wants to nourish her husband. That is why she is called as Patni. So she is revealing each of the roles of a woman, different roles which a woman plays over here. Here Shakuntala is explaining that a wife nourishes her husband's soul by giving him the drink of love. Patni પોષણ કરે છે, પણ શેનાથી પોષણ કરે છે? પ્રેમથી, through love. She is nourishing him through love. Shakuntala also explains another role of a wife, that is as bharya. Bharya. Coming from the roots brew, to fill, to pervade, to expand. Breathe, brew. And another root of it is bhartru, meaning a leader or a supporter. So the wife is one whose consciousness expands, and in that expansion she supports her husband. She leads her husband on. Shakuntala says only a woman understands the secret of manifestation, for it is only she who knows the secrets behind giving birth. All men have to learn this secret from a woman, and that is why the institution of marriage. That is why the institution of marriage. The husband learns what is the secret of giving birth. The husband learns what is the secret of giving birth from the wife. And if the husband has learned it, then yes, that marriage has been fulfilled. And if the husband does not learn this, that marriage is not fulfilled, however successful he may be. Has he learned this secret from his wife? How to give birth? Because if he learns that secret from the woman, then he can give birth within. He wants to give birth to something new within. She knows the secret, he does not know the secret. How is this? What is the difference between a woman's attention and a man's attention? What is the difference? Male and female attention, what is the difference? I'll give you a hint. Osho used to give beautiful jokes and tell beautiful stories. And one of his very pet jokes were on Mullah Nasruddin. And he says that one day somebody met Mullah Nasruddin in the road, and he says, Mullah, how is your married life going? So Mullah says, very good, very well. So how do you decide everything in your life? So he says, it's very easy, 50-50. So he says, 50-50, how does it work 50-50? She does 50, I do 50. So in her 50, what comes, Mullah? Or she decides which house we should have, and how we should arrange the house, and what kind of furniture, and what kind of car we should have, and which school the children should go to, and all this she decides. Mullah, if that comes in her 50, then what remains in your 50? So Mullah says, I decide who should be the president of the country, and whether the world is in depression or not in depression. So what is he saying? What is he saying? What is he saying? These are two different attentions. The woman's attention is one-pointed. And that one-pointed, when she becomes pregnant, when a woman becomes pregnant, what happens? For 9 months, the attention is one-pointed. She is not bothered about anything else. Just imagine, even to take the name of God with one-pointed attention for 5 seconds is impossible. For 5 seconds is impossible. And here somebody's attention is one-pointed for 9 months. A woman knows the secret of one-pointed attention. A male's attention is fragmented. He is interested in so many things. what is happening in the cricket match and what is happening in the elections and what happened in the race in the morning, right? And whether it's going to rain today. His attention is fragmented. And marriage is that the woman has to teach the male how to bring his attention together into one-pointedness. And that is the secret of getting married. To teach the male. Because unless the attention is one-pointed, it cannot go inside. It cannot go inside. And women have this natural ability for one-pointed attention because they give birth to children. Patanjali puts the state of one-pointedness very, very high. We'll take it one day. What is one-pointedness? One-pointed attention. So here she's giving a very deep science. She's telling me only a woman understands what it is to give birth, the secret of manifestation. The sages say that all manifestation is born out of a combination of three forces. Now, I won't talk about the three forces today, we'll talk about it some other day, because otherwise I want to take one full lecture on what is the three forces. ત્રણ ગુણ શું છે એ કઈ રીતે આપણા જીવનમાં કામ કરે છે. I want to take just one special talk on that. So we won't talk about the three forces today. That means all events that happen in our lives are controlled by three forces: the tamas, the rajas, the sattva, the positive, the negative, the neutralizing. A woman knows the secret of the three forces because she allows those three forces to manifest as a child in her womb. She knows the secret of the three forces. A Raj khabar che, mystery khabar che. And because she knows, a woman brings Anand, happiness, Lakshmi, prosperity and Dharma into the life of her husband. Anand, Lakshmi. Lakshmi does not just mean money. Lakshmi means aim, Lakshya. The energy which takes us to our Lakshya is called Lakshmi, our aim. That is called as Lakshmi. So don't just think that Lakshmi will light a lamp and she'll come and give you pots of money. It doesn't work that way. Right? And Dharma, the right path. When she is playing this role to perfection, her husband experiences the highest bliss and enjoys overflowing wealth. So, the husband's progress on the spiritual path is dependent upon the wife, and that is the secret of getting married. She, in helping her husband, she helps herself to rise and she helps him to rise. And the first thing is to teach him how to bring his attention together, make it one-pointed. Then she calls another role of the wife is called Priyamvada. From Pri meaning to please, to be a friend, to soothe, and Vada means to speak pleasing words. So a wife is called when she soothes her husband, she pleases her husband with good words. I'm not talking about when the husband and wife have a fight, but right, pleasing words, priyam. In times of solitude, when the husband is feeling alone, the wife fills his heart with good words. That is why she is called Priyamvada. This is the elixir of friendship. During calamities and trying times, she comes forth as a mother, nursing the husband through this period of difficulty. So Shakuntala is telling all this. In bad days, when the husband is going through bad days, she nurses her husband as if she's nursing a sick person, and she brings him out of the bad days because she has Anand, Lakshmi and Dharma with her. She has them with her. Also, when the husband performs religious rites, she becomes a guardian to channelize his energies in the right direction. And she provides for people who come to her door the travelers who pass her door, she provides for them. She gives them food. Like a dense tree that shades the travelers from the scorching sun. So Shakuntala is just telling all the roles of a woman over here. The final role she talks about, right, is Kanta. This comes from the root kam, meaning desire, depicting the wife as a fulfiller of the husband's innermost desire. O king, the deepest desire in all men is that of continuity through the birth of a son. So she's saying, the husband desires a son because he wants his form to continue. And the woman is one who allows his form to continue. The wife is the one who allows. In that, she is called Kanta because she fulfills the deepest desire of her husband from the root Kam. She fulfills that deepest desire. O king, the deepest desire in all men is that of continuity through the birth of a son. Even the great sages with all their powers and knowledge had to marry to quench this thirst of continuity. Even the old rishis, they had to marry because with all their sadhana, this inner desire for continuity could not be quenched. It is only through marrying and giving birth to a son that the rishis could continue. She is the bearer of rati, fulfillment, preeti, love, and dharma, the natural law of continuity. Hence, even when a man is trembling with intense anger, he should never insult or hurt a woman. Here she's saying something very, very deep, she's saying over here. Because a woman is embodied in rati, preeti, and dharma. Rati is fulfillment. So she's saying the woman is embodied, and that female energy, don't take it as a woman, take it as female energy. Right? And supposing I call any woman any kind of names, then I am not telling her, I am telling that female energy. I am telling that female energy. And that female energy curses me. Curses me in the sense that it is not cursing her, this is automatic. I fall into that trap. And then I have to suffer a lot. So a male should always be aware of never insulting a woman. Never insulting a woman. Because he doesn't know what he's doing. Here she's explaining a very deep law. He should never insult or hurt a woman, for in doing so he will only be depriving his own destiny of these three, rati, preeti, and dharma. So if a male insults a woman, then in his own destiny he is cutting off these three, depriving himself of these three, rati, preeti, and dharma. Such beautiful words, Shakuntala is speaking. And in doing so, delays his eventual salvation. His final moksha, his final freedom will never come because he has insulted a woman. And in that insulting a woman, that fulfillment will never come. But Dushyant is not yet satisfied. He's one more arrow he's throwing at her. One more arrow he's throwing at her. You have been born, Dushyant says, you have been born out of passion and sexuality. You have been born out of passion and sexuality. How do we give birth to children? Are they born out of excitement? Are they born out of accident? Or do we decide beforehand, we want, sex is necessary to give birth to children, but we will enter into sex with worship, as if just for the sake of giving birth to a child. How do we give birth to children? How do we give birth to children? So he's saying, you were born out of excitement, he's telling her. So he's insulting her this way. You were born out of excitement. You are of lower caste and you speak like a prostitute, he's telling her. I do not know you or your son. It seems you always speak the untruth. Who will ever trust you? Please go away. And then Shakuntala calms down. This final insult, nothing in her is disturbed. Suddenly she's free of that self-love. She's free of that ego, everything. She says, okay, I accept everything which you say. Whatever you say is the truth, I accept it. But please accept your son. Please accept your son. And then Dushyant realizes that now she is free. Now she is free of all this. And as Shakuntala is about to leave, a heavenly voice tells Dushyant, this is your wife and son. Please accept them. His name shall be Bharat. Bharat, the great land which has been looked after by the blessings of the great sages, shall be named after him. Bharat. Bharatam tanoti. Bharata. Bharatam means fulfillment. Tanoti means to expand. I drink a little water, I am fulfilled. I drink a little tea, I am fulfilled. So I drink the tea, there is a feeling of fulfillment. But then I don't leave it there. I expand that feeling of, and that can be expanded only in the now, the present moment. So I drink the present moment, that tea, and then I expand it into another dimension of time and space. So Bhartam means Bharelu, fulfilled. Bhartam. Bhartam tanoti means Bharata, the fulfillment which can be expanded, the land of consciousness. The land of consciousness, where the present moment can be expanded to eternity. We live in one present moment, then second present moment, but we don't learn to expand each present moment. Just the taste of tea, if we can expand it, then we move into another dimension, into a higher dimension. And if each feeling of life, each present moment we can expand it, then we are living in, wherever we are living in Bharat, because Bharatam tanoti. Tanoti means to pull, to expand. We are expanding each moment of fulfillment. So this voice, that is Dushyant's inner voice, is now saying that she is free. Now please accept her. Dushyant then explains to Shakuntala how he acted in a low and demeaning manner to destroy the last vestige of ego in the form of self-image in her. To destroy her last ego, he had to do this. If he had not done this, then all her years of sadhana, all the hard work would be nothing, useless. You know, I travel all the time, and usually there is no concern for family and all. I phone them and they're okay, and I know someone is taking care of them, and everything is fine. Again, I'll go back home for 2 months, then again there is a 2.5 month trip to the US and all that. I have an old mother, and she's 76, and my mother has worked her whole life. She has done sadhana her whole life. And she tells me that only one thing, that at the point of death, I want you to catch my hand and take me to the other shore. That is all I'm asking from you. That the day I die, I'm not asking anything else from you. But this much you do. I don't want to miss that one moment in my life, and I know you're the right person to lead me. And this is the only thing, because she's 76, and I wonder that I'm traveling all over, but I know that at the right moment I will be there. Right? So, this small thing is left in Shakuntala. Right? And Dushyant sees this, and he wants to kill it, and he goes through this whole process. She's free of it. He accepts them. On dissolution of the ego, the inner light reveals itself, and that is depicted by the heavenly voice. That is. In previous articles, we had discussed about cause, effect, ends and motives. Within the words of Shakuntala, where she talks about Father, Son, forefathers, sons of sons, I would urge my readers to try and decipher the deeper play of cause and effect. These are, of course, my articles, which have come somewhere. Anyway, we'll talk about cause and effect some other day. So, in the Mahabharata, there is one slok where he says he saw his fathers and his grandfather. Arjuna sees them, and it's the deeper meanings of what is cause and the cause of cause and the effect of cause and what is all this. We'll take that slok one day I think we take it this time. Instead of taking the next slok, we'll take those two sloks of cause and effect. Two sloks of cause and effect. Right? Okay, I'll stop over here. Any questions? I'm a little early today. I think my throat is today not going with me. Any questions? I'll take it. Yes.
Listening to your mother said that she was holding her hand and taking the inside of her. Inside is that? Did you mention?
What she should do at the time of death, where to put her attention, what she should see, what she should feel. Because we may miss that one point. And at the point of death, we are in that state which we want to reach. Only we are sleeping. And we don't want to miss it. When you go into a long cycle, and we'll talk about that tomorrow. Right? But that moment is so important, so important. It is the culmination of everything in life. So, I just shared with you that my mother, she's full of wisdom, my mother. Full of wisdom. But this one thing she said that you have, otherwise she's free of all other attachments, but that. I remember once, some wasp or something had bit her, and she was in a very bad state. She had such a bad reaction that her blood pressure had gone very low, and the pulse was going to zero and just coming back and going to zero. So she's telling me I'm going. So I said, hang on. I said, I put my tea on the gas, and I can't drink cold tea. So if you want to go, you wait for 5 minutes, I'll drink my tea. But that is between mother and son. That is how it goes. And she was really serious. But life is a joy. Even death is a joy. Death is nothing negative. Okay. Yes, sir.
What's that? You use the word rishi and you use the word guru as well.
No, the rishis she's talking about all the old rishis of our country, they got married to have a
No, but just generally use the term rishi.
Right, rishi, if you want to put a connotation for the rishi is one who goes in and experiments. A scientist who is one who experiments outside. So a scientist is looking at the elements in this and trying to understand the laws by which the elements work in this. The rishi is going inside and he says that, okay, I have a mood of depression. Now, which elements are going into causing this mood of depression? And can those elements be changed? What forms that depression? What is the psychic nature of that depression? Is it like we have a physical room of darkness and a physical room of light, and am I in a psychic room of darkness? So he's doing the same thing which the scientist is doing outside, he's doing within his psychic nature. So we can call him a psychic scientist or a spiritual scientist. That is what is from the word rishi. The word re means to kill again. So he is killing the lower to move into the high. Yes.
Are you believe in fourth stage, like you mentioned Rajo, Tamo, Sato, and this fourth stage after this three?
Yeah.
What is it? Can you explain?
Gunatik state it is called. It is a state where the three gunas have come back to their original state of rhythm and balance. for all existence there must be imbalance. Right? So, if God wants to create the world, then the three gunas have to be in imbalance. But if we want to be free of the world, free of samsara, then within ourselves we have to bring the three gunas back into a state of rhythm and balance. And once that happens, we are free. It is called guna tit, free of the gunas. Right? The last sutra in the Yoga Sutra is Purushartha Shunyanam. Purushartha Shunyanam. Okay, now no effort is needed. Purushartha Shunyanam. Gunanam Pratiprasav. Gunanam Pratiprasav. All the three gunas have been sent back to where they have come from. Now this word Pratiprasav is a beautiful word. It's a beautiful word. How do we come to this state of Pratiprasav? So, Patanjali is saying that through a state of meditation you reach a certain stage. But then to go further you have to go through a series of something called Pratiprasav. Pratiprasav means to take back, send back. So, through meditation I come to a state where I feel I have no anger, I have no jealousy. Right? So that is a good state to be in. But he's saying still the gunas have not gone into rhythm and balance. Then he's saying go into life. Life, what we call prasang. Prasang means event. Prasang means event. So the minute prasang comes and she tells me something, and then that small little anger which has remained in me comes out, I send the three gunas back to their, so prati prasang. I take the prasang and I turn it upside down. I send it back to where it came from. And this is a long process. And it goes on in normal life. Small incidents in life. So he says that these inner patterns which we call, he gives them 4 stages. Prasupta, Tanu, Vichina and Udar. So Udar means flowering. So my anger which was Udar has calmed down. Then Vichina, it was there, not there, it has also calmed down. Tanu, it is in a small, that has also calmed down. But it is now in the stage of prasup, that the anger is not there. But if an incident comes, it's prasuti. Prasuti means, it is born again. Prasup. And then I do prati prasav, I send it back to the source. In that I am bringing the three gunas back to their original state of rhythm and balance. So he says the final state is Purushartha Shunyanam Gunanam Prati Prasav. I've sent the three gunas back to their original source. Kaivalyam. Now everything is absolute oneness. I am one with everything. Kaivalyam, absolute oneness. Chitti Shakti Iti. Now only the mind of God prevails. That is all. There is a state beyond the three gunas, and that is called as gunatit state. But we have to practice in daily living. In the small incidents in life, bring rhythm and balance, bring rhythm and balance. And slowly we will start experiencing that state which is free of the three gunas. Right? Yes, sir. Yes.
Could you give us the mahatma of feeding? You said that a wife feeds travelers and so forth. Give the essence of feeding.
Feeding?
It may jamalo.
As in food?
Yes.
I make tea for my wife in the morning, first thing. The husband has to become the wife, and the wife becomes the husband. The husband becomes the wife, and the wife becomes the husband. And that is the beauty of marriage. Before she gets up, exactly the way she wants tea, I make everything and keep it ready. Then she gets up, her bed tea is ready. That is the beauty. That within us, the woman is hidden. Within us, our female nature is hidden, because we've been given a male body and we are identified with this male body. We think we are male. And to give birth to the inner female, we marry the female because we can't see the inner female. And she is just a reflection of our inner female. So when she feeds us, We want that inner female to be born. So then we come, later on in marriage, we come to a state where in small things, we can't make cook food, of course, but we can feed her in small things. We allow the inner female to grow. And that is the beauty of marriage. To give birth to the female gives birth to the inner male, and the male gives birth to the inner female. So they exchange roles as the marriage goes round, and then the circle completes. The circle completes. That is the beauty of marriage. So all of us are females inside. And we can't see it. Everybody is 50-50. Exactly. Just a small part of the body becomes this. And we are also, in looking for a girl outside or looking for a man outside, actually we are looking for that inner, but we can't see it. And if we knew that this woman which I am marrying is nothing but the inner female, we would never get angry on her. We would never fight with her, because how can we fight with ourselves? It's not possible. She is that inner. And that is the whole role of marriage, where slowly we stop being a male and we become a female, and we've experienced both sides. And that is Purna, where we've experienced both. And then both merge into something which is beyond. It's the Ardhanarishwar. Merges into something. So the best way is wake up early in the morning before your wife wakes up, cook a beautiful tea for her and be ready. Give her the tea. There's great joy in doing that. Great joy in doing that.
Lastly, a bit controversial.
Right.
50% male and 50% female, then with homosexuality and transsexuality. Is it because the one is more than the other that happens?
See, it is not natural. It is not natural. What I am talking is to rise above the male and female. What you are saying is to become a victim of that male and female. Right? See, in Mahabharata we have one warrior called Shikhandi. Shikhandi was born a girl, right? But her father brought her up as a son, got her married as a son. Then she exchanges her womanhood with a yaksha. Right? And the yaksha gives her for some time, he loans her his male form to her. So she becomes a male. And then Kuber is coming, and then Kuber is the guru of the yakshas. So Kuber comes and he says that, where is your male form gone? So he says, how can you give it without asking me? So he curses him that now you'll never be able to get it back. So all this is what I'm trying to say is that Shikhandi had an experience of this side and that side, both. And in that experience he is called Shikha, means the ultimate, the top, Shikha, the top. So, what you're talking about is only the physical level. When you're talking about homosexuality, you're still a victim of the physical level. So the physical is male or female. And if there should be sex, it should be natural. I'm not against homosexuality or anything. Whatever it is there. Okay? But still, this is the physical form. And we should follow the laws of the physical form. Right? But what I'm talking is something deeper, that we are all 50% male, 50% female. There is within every male there is a hidden female, within every female there is a hidden male. And the person he or she marries is just a representation of that. Actually, when I marry this person, I like this person, it is just my inner female expressing herself. You get it? So, and then to use that marriage as a mirror to see the inner female or the inner male. That is the dance of marriage. The dance of marriage. Yeah.
Speaking in the Mahabharata, Krishna mentioned that if a pot is soiled by one strand of hay, all the contents must be discarded. So, besides the hygiene factor,
Then where in the Mahabharata is this? I have not come across it.
I can't remember the page.
No, I have not come across it. Which?
It was a translation which I read. So probably it was.
If you can tell me the incident, I'll try and remember it. If you tell me the incident, but I have not come across it. But hair means kesh. Kesh. Yeah, I'm just trying to tell you, whatever it was, I'm just trying to give you some explanation. I hope it works. I don't know whether it is right or wrong. But hair means kesh. Kesh comes from the root klesh, to clash. Right? So the hair gets knotted, it gets tied. So there is strife, there is pain, there is suffering. Right? So maybe he's talking about something deeper over there.
Yes, that is what
Yeah, he's talking, which is given a very ordinary form as hair falling into food. Right? So it could be, but it has a deeper meaning somewhere, because one of the names of Krishna is Keshav, the Keshav, right? So Keshav is one who frees us from kleshas, who frees us from suffering, the seeds of suffering, who frees us from the seeds of suffering, right? But then the literal meaning of Keshav is one who has beautiful hair. The literal meaning will come, one who has beautiful hair. So that literal incident would have a deeper meaning, I suppose.
But why is it that such a beautiful book like this, we have many scholars who speak different languages, the Indian language and perhaps English. Why don't you have a beautiful translation like what you're giving us? My friend and I were just talking about this a few nights ago. We spend our whole lives trying to understand something and we struggle through it and we cannot get the essence. And then many years later, we find somebody that we are arriving at our door. By which time we've been so frustrated because we could have lived differently and we could have taught our children differently. And I do understand that the teacher comes when we're ready, but we've been searching for such a long time and the struggle has been very sincere and very deep, but we haven't come across this kind of experience.
First of all, I'm not the teacher, I'm your elder brother.
Say that, and I say it with respect, that to me, you are my teacher because I've asked God for assistance and He sent you, and you've given me an understanding that I otherwise would not have got. So, by default or not, I accept you as my Lord.
Let's leave that. Let's answer the question. Let's answer the question. Now, you see, whether you call it the problem or the richness of the Sanskrit language. See, my knowledge of Sanskrit is very deep, very little. It's just, I'm scratching the surface. Now, you have to see how this language was created. And it's very difficult to fathom what this language means. Now, the Sanskrit grammar was created when this rishi called Panini, he was roaming through the jungles and he heard the damru, the drum of Shiva, and from that drum of Shiva 16 sounds came out. Now these sounds mean nothing. They mean nothing. When you hear dum, dak, rul, ruk, they don't really mean anything. And still they mean everything. So, the basis of Sanskrit language is energy. Energy. That energy has an original sound, and when it forms the word, it is the combination of certain energies which go into the formation of those words. Now certain sounds, now say you take one character called Kripacharya. Kripacharya. So the word Kripa means Daya. Daya means to, what will we call it in English? Exactly, mercy. Sympathy, to sympathize, to feel pain with the other. Daya. Right. Now, this word Kripacharya, in its phonetic form, when you take it in the form of those 16 letters which came out of Shiv's Dabru, it comes from that letter Rulruk, which means to clash. Which means to clash. So the root of Kripacharya will not be sympathy, it will be strife, quarrel, clash. You get what I'm trying to say? Now, here is this character, he is on the side of the Kauravas. He is the guru of the Kauravas and the Pandavas, Kripacharya. And he is there on this side. Why is he on the negative side? To feel daya, to feel sympathy for someone, for us is a positive quality. Then why is the Rishi saying that pity is the word I was looking for was pity, not sympathy, pity. So why is the Rishi saying that pity is a negative quality, it is not a positive? Supposing I feel pity for a beggar, or I feel pity for somebody who is suffering. You get what I'm trying to say? So the Rishi is saying that inner state of feeling pity is a negative quality, it is not a positive quality. The positive quality is of compassion, which is a totally different state. You get what I'm trying to say? So when you're reading the Mahabharata, we have to go through it from so many different angles. There is a phonetic angle, that each word has a verb, a meaning of how the energies move in that word. The combination of energies in that word move in a certain way. So that is called the dhatu. The dhatu. And then comes the literal translation. When somebody is translating it, they are only translating the literal translation. It is very few people who have gone into this. Very few people. And this is a study of a lifetime to go into this. It is not something that we get frustrated with. It is a study of a lifetime, because as you go deeper, the words start opening up, the incidents start opening up. For me, it is just the beginning. I am still a beginner, so don't call me a teacher. But I'll try to help you. And maybe the inner teacher will speak to you one day. Then you will know. Right? But it's my fascination, my love, and the Mahabharata. Because every time I go into it, I'm thrown into a different dimension of time and space. These simple stories, they have so much in them. There's no other book like the Mahabharata. It's not comparison which I'm saying, but I'm saying it's way above any other book in the world. Way above any other book in the world. And I know in this life I will not be able to achieve much. I know that also. Right? So what? You can still enjoy it. So. Yes.
You spoke the other day of Draupadi's 5 husbands being the 5 chakras. Can you name which chakras they belong to?
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't get your question.
His husbands. You mentioned that they were the chakras. Can you tell me which chakras?
Okay. Yeah. So, moving through the Mooladhara, what is the Mooladhara representing? Prithvi Tattva. Right? So, Prithvi is composed of all the other tattvas. All the other tattvas are in Prithvi. Right? So Agni is a tattva on its own, but in Prithvi tattva, Agni is also there. Right? So these tattvas, they are known as devas. Agni Dev, Vayu Dev, right? Okay? So the one who moves with the devas, the one who roams with the devas, is called Sahadev. Right? So then you move up. Water is the tattva of the Swadhisthana chakra. And water does not recognize anyone. Right? If it flows over a rock, it won't have any sympathy for the rock. It will dissolve the rock. You get it? However beautiful the rock looks. The water is a universal solvent. It dissolves everything. It does not bother about whether this thing is necessary or unnecessary, whether it is needed or not needed. Water dissolves. It has no cool. It is free of all conditioning, water. It does not bother whether this is a murti of God or this is an ordinary stone. Water will dissolve everything. You get what I'm trying to say? So water has no conditioning, that is why it is called as Nakul. Then comes the Manipur and the Kundli. There are two chakras nearby each other. Manipur is excitement, Kundli is sensitivity. Manipur is Karna, Dushasana. Kundli is sensitivity. The sensitivity of emotion, the sensitivity of love, the sensitivity of discipleship. That is why his name is Arjun. Arjun means jo arji karta hai. Arji means in the posture of a disciple. Arjun means one who has rujuta. Rujuta means softness, gentleness. Emotions have gentleness, softness. So that is the softness. Even though he is fire, he is a great warrior, he can destroy anyone. He is a disciple inside, the fire of knowledge, the fire of learning. So that is Arjun, Agni in Manipura. Right? Then in Anahat is Vayu Tattva. So Vayu is of course very easy, beam. And like I said, in Vishuddhi is Akash Tattva, the ether. Where is the ether? Where does the ether prevail in our normal life? Where does the ether prevail? Tell me. Where do we experience this ether? Supposing you're very angry on me, then at what point do I experience ether? See, you're angry and I'm getting irritated, and suddenly both our waves clash. Both our waves clash. Where two waves meet, the in-between point is of neutrality. Yudh mein sthir. It is not of this wave, it is not of this wave. That is called Yudhishthir. That is Akash. Where two dissolve into each other. That is called as Akash. Right? So these are the 5 chakras where the sex energy rises up the 5 chakras. She is known as Kundalini. She marries the 5 chakras. The sex energy is the divine energy which he wanted to create this world with. That is why it is called the divine energy, Sarjan Shakti, the energy of creation. And that is why that energy has 2 ends. It has 2 ends. In one end, Dushasana is pulling it to excitement. One end, Dushasana is pulling one sari after the other of Draupadi towards excitement. Dushasana means excitement, chaos. And in the other, Krishna is holding the other, the inner divine, the inner Atma is holding, because he has created the world with this energy. So he is holding it. And these are the 2 ends of that energy. One in the hand of Krishna, one in the hand of excitement. It is our choice. We want to follow the path of excitement or we want to follow the path of Krishna. It is our choice where we take that energy. But if that energy rises above up towards Krishna, then on the way she has to marry the 5 chakras. The 5 chakras, and those are the 5 Pandavas. Right?
I understand it. But then who is Draupadi then? Is Draupadi the individual?
She is that energy. She is that energy. I won't be able to this time take the story of the birth of Draupadi. It's a very beautiful story, but because I have not yet formally written it down. But maybe if we meet some other time, I'll tell you the story of how she was born, and it's a very beautiful story. And all her husbands were Indra in their previous life. Indra means the energy of sensitivity, the senses. And the energy of sensitivity can go to excitement or it can go within. So it's a long story of her birth, but she is that energy, and that energy, she wants to rise. She wants to go back to where she has come from, because God created the world, the energy of creation, with that energy. She wants to go back, and that is Krishna. But excitement tries to pull her down. And till the forces of excitement are not killed on the battlefield, she cannot go back. With each of the Pandavas, she has a son. And those sons are born out of each chakra. We'll take them one day. What those sons mean. Right? There is the marriage of sex energy and the chakra. Something is born out of it. Some power is born out of it. So with each of the Pandavas, she has one son, which all die in the end. Ashwatthama kills all of them. Okay. We use so many things for our sadhana. So many. We need so many techniques, so much of this, so much of knowledge. And at one point we come where nothing else is needed. All that we needed to rise up on the path, we don't need it any longer. And then Ashwatthama comes and kills everyone in the sleep. And only the 5 Pandavas, Satyaki and Krishna, come out from the Pandav side of the Mahabharata alive. Everybody else is killed, because now they have reached, nobody else is needed. So this is the story of our inner journey, the story of our inner journey. We come to a point where now all that was needed, all the help what was needed is not needed any longer, and that is symbolic that Ashwatthama kills them all in their sleep. Right? Okay. Shall we stop? I think my throat is also not with me today. Thank you.